did very well. Oh my gosh, so I guess it's my turn, yeah? So we're gonna start with just a couple of moments of stillness, remembering that beautiful reading that we just captured, where we can capture zeal in our hearts, remembering that we are ready from Daniel Nehemiah, remembering that I am from India Irene, and just pausing here now for a moment in meditation. Many things going on in the world. We're not denying that. Let's take this moment now to settle in, to remember love, to remember the I am, to pause in a moment of peace. Join me in receiving a breath here. Thank you for taking that moment to just reset so that we can begin again from this place, the place of love, the place we've never left, love. Let's receive one more breath together. Now this final breath, we bring this time in meditation to a close. Join me here. Thank you so much for taking that moment in peace. So today, I wanted to talk about your guidance positioning system. And before we dive in, I do want to share a little something with you. And it's about this lady. This lady's name is Dr. Gladys West. Gladys West was a trailblazing mathematician whose work laid the foundation for the modern global positioning system technology that we know of today, the GPS, the little thing that talks, turn left here, turn right there. Dr. West was born in 1930 in Virginia. She pursued her higher education during the Jim Crow era, and if you're not familiar with the Jim Crow era was a system of laws and customs that enforced racial segregation and denied Black Americans equal rights. This took place in the 1800s through the mid-1960s. Some may say that it's still happening for many of us. But Dr. West fought against discrimination. She earned her bachelor's and her master's degrees in mathematics from Virginia State College, which is now Virginia State University. In 1956, Dr. West began a 42-year career at the Naval Surface Warfare Center in Dahlgren, where her groundbreaking satellite-based models of the Earth's shape became essential to the GPS, that global positioning system. Though her contributions went totally unrecognized for decades, Dr. West received a long overdue honor by being inducted into the U.S. Air Force Space and Missiles Pioneers Hall of Fame. She was also honored as a female alumna of the year by Historically Black Colleges and University Awards in 2018, cementing her legacy as a quiet architect of modern navigation. I share this with you because Dr. West passed away last week at the age of 95. And I just wanted to acknowledge Dr. Gladys West, because have you ever been driving in an area you don't usually drive? Or maybe one you've been to once or twice, maybe you thought you knew the way, and in fact you were certain you knew the way, like there was some conviction there, but after a few turns, nothing looked familiar. You keep going and you keep thinking, no, I got this, even though the surroundings were saying, Terry, you don't got this. Finally, that GPS chimes in, right? Calm, free of judgment. It might say something like, recalculating. U-turn at the next corner. Anybody? I must be the only one that uses GPS. No, I can't. And I laughed out loud because I realized something. I'd ignored every direction that thing gave me because I was certain I knew better. And yet I was the one that was lost. But the GPS didn't shame me. It didn't say, well, if you had listened to me the first time. It simply recalculated. It offered me a new route. It simply guided me back. And this is exactly how spirit works, at least in my mind. This is how the Holy Spirit redirects us when our thoughts take us off course. This is how our inner guidance, or our guidance positioning system, or God positioning system, brings us home. So I want to talk to you about something I've shared here before, something that follows us everywhere, something that shapes our lives, even when we're not paying attention, and that's our thoughts. We have them. They come, they go, they swirl around, they repeat, they whisper, sometimes they shout. And yet, often we don't stop to ask, where do these come from? Where do these thoughts come from? What is driving them? And why do they matter so much? A Course in Miracles is my spiritual path and practice. The Course is a non-dualistic, self-study spiritual path that helps people connect with their inner teacher, their internal guidance system, their GPS. I share this pretty much every time I give a truth talk because the Course is something that supports my peaceful way of living. And because its teachings align so beautifully with the unity principle, this principle here. We create our life experiences through our way of thinking. Our thoughts have creative power. We've got thoughts, and we are powerful. You know, I talked about Dr. Gladys West and her wonderful contribution to the global positioning system that we know and use today. But I want to talk about the other GPS, your guidance positioning system, or your God positioning system, your inner guidance, the Holy Spirit within you, that gentle voice that always knows the way back to peace. The soft voice that reminds us when we pay attention to it that peace is our nature. It's the divine recalibration that happens every time the ego thought system takes that wrong turn. It's that presence that whispers, come back to love. Now, where do these thoughts come from? I understand and believe, and the Course teaches that every thought originates in our mind. They are shaped and influenced by one of two voices or two distinct thought systems. The ego, which is chaos, upset, disturbance, or the Holy Spirit, which is peace, love, calmness. A Course in Miracles goes even further. It tells us something bold, something uncompromising. From lesson 16, it says, I have no neutral thoughts. I have no neutral thoughts. Every thought has an effect. Every thought creates something. Every thought is either extending love or reinforcing fear. There isn't even an idle thought. The Course says that what gives rise to the perception of a whole world, our thoughts, can't be idle. Give that one some thought. In other words, your thoughts are powerful. Your thoughts shape your perception. Your thoughts create the world you experience. Every thought you have brings either peace or war, love or fear. There's no middle ground. The mind itself, your mind, my mind, is an extension of the divine creation. It's connected with God, Source, the Creator. Its true essence is spiritual, eternal, and far beyond the limitations of that ego. A Course in Miracles calls this our right mind, the part of us aligned with love, peace, and unity. But then there's that ego. The ego generates the illusion of separation. It produces thoughts that are rooted in fear, rooted in judgment, rooted in guilt, shame, conflict, disturbances. These are what I call the defaults, the places many of us go first. I know I'm not alone. Anyone else familiar with this way of thinking? Okay. Remember, we had interactive today. On the other hand, though, the Holy Spirit represents the voice of love, of unity, of peace, of truth. And these thoughts lead to healing, forgiveness, compassion, joy, and a deeper connection with Source, God, Creator, whatever your name for that is. These are our true thoughts, the ones that reflect who we really are. But they get covered up by those ego thoughts that are our default that I mentioned. And through practice, I'm learning that I can begin to shift my default from ego-based, rooted in fear, to Holy Spirit-based, rooted in peace. How do I do that? So the Course teaches that our experience depends on which voice we're listening to. And that brings me to a few questions I want you to hold gently, honestly, and courageously. When you're moving through something, what are you focusing on? When something's upsetting you, in that moment, what are you focusing on? The present? Or the pains of the past? The Course asks, will you be hostage to the ego or host to the Holy Spirit, host to God? If you find you're holding on to the past, okay, you may be there for a moment, but you don't have to stay there. Check your perspective. Ask yourself, are you willing to try a shift? Now, this isn't just about positive thinking. This is about awareness. This is about presence. This is about truth. It's about slowing down and even stopping long enough in the midst of the thing, in the midst of anything, to ask, how do I feel right now? Is this ego-based thinking filled with disturbances and upset and stories and chaos? Or am I in the Holy Spirit's thinking, peaceful? I can see this differently. You see, the ego thoughts rise up and speak loud, loudest and first. But Spirit is also speaking first and consistently. It just waits for me. It gently waits for me to turn to it. You see, the voice of the Holy Spirit, God, the one, your GPS, it's always peaceful. It's not banging us over the head. It's just waiting for us to turn to it. Through daily practice, I've learned to pause before reacting. Not a long, dramatic pause, not going to the mountaintop, holding the mudra, just a breath. Now listen, if going to the mountaintop and holding the mudra is your thing, I am not judging that. I'm simply sharing today that I don't have to do the long thing. I can simply take a breath like we did at the end of our meditation. A moment. Some may even call it a sacred moment. And that moment is where the shift happens. Now, I love to share practices. So, along with kindness and compassion, there's some practices that help me train my mind to recognize which thought system I'm in. And so I'm sharing them today with you. I've shared them here before. Meditation, which we did before we started here. I practice some form of meditation every day. A few minutes a day to notice the chatter of the mind, to reconnect with peace. I like to burst the myth, the bubble that says, when you go into meditation, the mind gets quiet. And anybody ever have a totally quiet mind? No. In fact, when I go into meditation, that's where I remember the grocery list, the left shoe that I lost in 1972, where the keys were back in 6 months ago. I mean, that's where all that stuff happens. That's where it happens. So I get to just notice that, notice the thoughts, and then, I'm just simply here to connect with peace. There's the awareness piece and the slowing down or stopping. You can honestly and consistently notice your thoughts. Noticing when your thoughts come from fear, judgment, or separation. And you can even notice when they come from love, unity, and peace. Then there's the practice of forgiveness. When those ego thoughts arise and they're about others or even about yourself, you get to pause and choose again. You can offer the situation to the Holy Spirit. The Course says, let's turn it over to Spirit, your guidance positioning system, or your God positioning system. Let's welcome the opportunity for forgiveness, the chance to see and think about any situation differently. Now, this isn't about excusing or condoning behavior. It's about releasing my interpretation around this. True forgiveness is freedom. And then there's gratitude. Gratitude helps me align my mind with Spirit, and it opens my heart. It helps me to remain present. Peace is only ever found in the present moment, in the now moment. So when your mind drifts to past regrets or future worries, gently return to the present. Feel the water while you're washing dishes. Notice the steps you're taking as you're walking. There's some monks that are walking for peace right now, and, they're just walking. They're just walking. No, when the fanfare is not there, when the cameras aren't there and social media is not there, and their lovely dog, Loka's not posing for the camera, they're simply walking intentionally. Even when you're preparing your meals or chewing your food, be present. And then there's community and study. This is that. We are in community. Take a look around. Take a look around at your community here, even if it's just for today. we come together and share with each other. When we share, it strengthens our practices and it deepens our understanding of who we really are. Again, this isn't about clobbering somebody over the head, trying to make somebody see your way of being or your view or any of that. It's about being that demonstration of peace, of love. We grow better together. Now here's a gentle warning. As you practice these things, you might begin to feel something. Something calm, steady. It might even feel peaceful. And that might be different for you. So I ask that you trust it. It's not wrong, it's just different. And that's spirit. Now here's another warning. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, what about when I forget? You got this, I don't. No, we all forget. The Course reminds me that forgetting is simply remembering better. This is about consistency, not perfection. This isn't a one and done. The consistency helps me transform my mind. So every time you remember, you strengthen that muscle. Every time you choose again, you deepen the shift. Every time you pause, you reclaim your power. Not a one and done. A personal thing for me right now is constantly running through my head. And what I am doing is not trying to push the thought away, because the thought is there. I want to look at it. So the practice over and over again is remembering, who am I? I'm loved. Can I see this differently? Can I trust that Spirit's got this? In closing, I want to just say the Holy Spirit's thought system is the true eternal one. It's rooted in love. It's rooted in unity and divine truth. When we turn away from the ego's thought system, we move toward inner peace, our true nature. So I invite you right here and now to be in agreement with me around this intention. So close your outer eye. Take a breath with me. In this moment, I'm just stating an intention. We're just holding it together. I choose to see with the eyes of love and allow the Holy Spirit to guide my thoughts today. Take that in. I choose to see with the eyes of love and allow the Holy Spirit to guide my thoughts today. Take one more breath with me. As we open our eyes, I'm going to just repeat that intention one more time as we're doing it with our eyes open. Maybe even look around. I choose to see with the eyes of love and allow the Holy Spirit to guide my thoughts today. What concept? Let that rise. Let that become your new default. Now here's the interactive part. I'm inviting you to repeat after me. This is closing us out, so we're going to do it strong, okay? Here we go. Repeating after me. I am willing to shift.
I am willing to shift.
Okay, we can do a little bit better, I'm certain. I am willing to see differently.
I am willing to see differently.
That part. One more. I am guided by love.
I am guided by love.
I am led by peace.
I am led by peace.
My mind is aligned with spirit.
My mind is aligned with spirit.
Today I choose again.
Today I choose again.
And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you, everyone.